We're back on the air. This is Radio Entrepreneurs. My name is Jeffrey Davis. I'm the host, also chairman of the board, CEO of Mage LLC, management consulting firm. My co-host all week long is going to be Peter Myerson from the law firm of Cohn, Rasnick, Myerson & Plout. Welcome, Peter.
Thanks, Jeff. Always great to be here.
Great. I always like redos, not redo of this interview, but redos makes me a little bit, it's from the early mornings, just trying to get all settled in. Our next guest, someone I think you know very well, is Paul DiVecchio of DiVecchio Associates. I think I got it right. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Peter, for the opportunity to be here this morning.
And thank you for your patience with us this morning.
Oh, I have a lot of patience.
So
that's what he says. But
tell us what you do.
I started in this business about 45 years ago, so more of a specialist in the area. Worked in the high-tech industry for 15 years and then hit midlife crisis and decided that I had a knowledge and talent to get into the consulting business, and my family supported me on it, and so for the last 30 years I've been consulting. The issues vary from making sure that you know what your products are how your products are classified when you export from the United States. Everything you ship from the U.S. or re-export that's of U.S. origin falls within the U.S. regulations, and regardless how sophisticated the item is, there are rules that prohibit you from doing certain things. And
so if you ship a paperclip, you have to classify it.
You should know how it's classified, and you need to know the party it's going to be shipping to and the other parties in the transaction to make sure they're not on a restricted list. And there are several agencies with several lists that prohibit you from sending product. And in some cases, you need to know what the end use is before you ship it to, because an innocuous item could be used for nefarious purposes, and you'll be held accountable for that.
Well, you and I went through that one.
Yes, we did. we had a client that unfortunately didn't have a compliance process. They had no clue what they were doing, but they learned very, very fast to avoid any kind of penalties that they better get their act together.
Well, I mean, just for our audience's sake, it was a situation where my client had permission from the government to ship, but they didn't get permission from the compliance group of the government, and the goods were seized.
No, that's absolutely right, Peter. And by the way, I mean, this subject matter extends to all areas, not just to technology-based companies. And as an example, the New York Yankees and the Los Angeles Dodgers got burned because they had signed Cuban ball players while the embargo still is in place. They signed these Cuban ball players, and you can't do that when you have embargo with a particular country. In this case, Cuba's got a lot of baseball players there that the U.S. wants. And they ultimately lost the two ball players, and they paid substantial fines. But
they
legal
lost
fees,
the ball players?
Absolutely, because two of the ball players had defected directly to the United States. In Major League Baseball's tenets don't allow that to take place. If it happens and they get caught, then they have to give up the players in a supplemental draft. And the interesting thing about that particular case, how they got caught, was the Dodgers signed them to minor league contracts, and the two ball players were playing in the minor leagues, in this case with the Dodgers. And they were talking to other ball players, and the other ball players said, "How much are you getting paid?" And they said, "50 grand each." He said, "That's chump change. You got shafted on this." So they gave them the name of their agents, and the two ball players called the agent of the other ball players, and that agent was pretty sharp. He knew export law, he knew about sanctions, and he knew about the baseball rules and regulations, and he was the one who dropped the dime on the Dodgers to the Treasury Department. As a result, the Dodgers had to give up the players in a supplemental draft, and they got re-signed by other ball clubs for $1 million plus. And what do you think the agent gets? He gets 6% of the commission. So it was beneficial for that particular agent to understand the export laws and also know what the Major League Baseball rules were. So it extends beyond technology base.